Okay, hello and welcome to the session on how SAP Cloud ALM, together with RISE with SAP methodology, supports clean core compliance. And Jörg and I would like to share with you what we have built or we offer in Cloud ALM together with the RISE methodology dashboard to stay clean core compliant. Probably some of you were already in the previous session where our RISE expert, Chris Lewis, talked a bit more about the RISE migration and modernization program, what it has to offer, how it's tailored to support our customers who are transitioning from their ECC or S/4HANA into their private cloud ERP. So the basic idea behind the program was to provide the customers a streamlined approach and a framework to transition smoothly from their existing S4 or ECC systems into cloud ERP. And to ensure this, they came up with the structured approach to offer the customers with governance and guardrails in the form of content. And this content consists of a roadmap which describes in detail the different activities that you need to perform to attain a clean core, because clean core is the focus of your transition journey to cloud ERP, so that you are able to get innovations as fast as possible. And this is only possible when you have a core function which is clean and follow the standard methodology recommended by SAP to use the platform to build your extensions. And to enable this, they came up with a dedicated roadmap which is offered by SAP Activate, and it's called the Success Plan, which consists of all the activities that you need to perform in every phase of your implementation project, which allows you in identifying the custom code you have, fixing them, and how to build them in the newest technology offered on BTP. In addition to this, to stay compliant, what they also offer is quality gates, which are the very critical milestones at the end of every phase, where you can evaluate where you stand with regards to the key deliverables that is applicable to clean core. And to even execute these quality gates, they offer questionnaires which helps you in your quality gate review process to see along all the 5 dimensions defined in clean core, the data, processes, extensibility, integration, and operations. With regard to all these 5 dimensions, how are you performing at the end of every phase so you can smoothly transition to the next phase of implementation. So as part of the content, you get the roadmap, the Clean Core Success Plan. You get quality gates embedded in these roadmaps, together with the accelerator, which is the questionnaire. And on top of this, they also offer, as part of the methodology, every completed Q gate, for every completed Q gate, you get an assessment service delivered from SAP. And these assessments are transparent. You share your quality gate output with SAP. SAP experts go through your quality gate output. They do perform certain checks on these questions that you have answered that is part of your quality gate, and they provide you a detailed report on the analysis that they have performed. And together with this report, the detailed analysis, what you also get are actionable insights. So How can you improve your process further? So the recommendations are also provided as part of these assessments. And this is also brought into your project, which you can then manage as your project tasks and apply further improvements. So this is what is offered as part of the content. Now, this is also supported by the strong expertise from the SAP side as well as from the partner ecosystem. So from the time you start your onboarding, you're supported by SAP experts. So every RISE customer, starting from April 1st, probably Chris already mentioned, who signed the RISE contract, they get an onboarding advisor assigned, and they help you with the initial steps, which I'm going to show you now in a demo, with the onboarding onto your Cloud ALM. So for the ones who are not familiar with Cloud ALM already, this is a very good start. You will learn how to efficiently make use of project and tasks management to even manage your Clean Core initiative. They also, the onboarding experts also support you until you finish your prepare phase and you are ready to submit your quality gate output. And once this onboarding support is completed, you have the access to your enterprise architect who's going to help you along the next stages of your journey. And afterwards, you have a partner community who are certified in RISE methodology, who can also support you with your initiative. And customers, they have an umpteen number of enablement material that is already available in the form of trainings, webinars, and so on, which you can register to and learn how to move forward with your Clean Core initiative and learn more about the cloud ERP itself. And lastly, the digital platform, which is actually acting as your digital backbone and supporting you in the execution of this methodology, starting with Activate, providing the content, Cloud ALM, supporting the entire execution of the methodology itself, and the end-to-end implementation process can also be managed via Cloud ALM. Signavio supporting your process design, and LeanIX with your enterprise architecture. Now we move on to the actual execution of the methodology, and specifically within Cloud ALM. As I mentioned, as soon as you sign the contract, you are assigned an onboarding advisor who helps you in getting, even commissioning a Cloud ALM tenant if you do not already have one. And now I'm going to show you, once you have your Cloud ALM tenant, as an onboarding advisor, together with your project team, how we start with the onboarding process in Cloud ALM. Okay, here we are in our Cloud ALM tenant, and the very first step in the onboarding process, oh, sorry.
Probably have to stop
Do I
the
have,
presentation.
sorry, oh. Do I have to bring it? One moment, let me try. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry about the interruption. Okay, so here we are in our Cloud ALM tenant, where we start with the onboarding process. So the very first step in onboarding is to create a project. And we start by setting up the project and using the Activate roadmap that is provided for onboarding, which is a dedicated roadmap called the Clean Core Success Plan. There we are. So this is this visible to everybody? The resolution is fine? Okay. All right. So if you can see the SAP Activate roadmap that I've used here is a Clean Core Success Plan. And as I mentioned already, this is a roadmap which has the activities which are dedicated to your Clean Core initiative, right? However, when you are setting up the project in Cloud ALM, you will also observe that you have roadmaps for implementation as well as system conversion. So if you already know which scenario that you're going for, whether you're going to go for a greenfield or a brownfield implementation, then you can make you can decide to use those roadmap too, and you will still get the Clean Core activities embedded within this full-blown roadmap. However, if you decide to start with, okay, I will first only start with a Clean Core initiative and then decide, okay, whether you want to move to greenfield or brownfield, then it's also possible that you start with the success plan roadmap. In all these cases, you will get all the activities that you see as part of this success plan also included in the other two RISE roadmaps that you can use from Activate. All right, so once you use the Activate roadmap, you have all the activities that are part of this roadmap automatically brought into your project as tasks and deliverables, and then you can plan them as normal project tasks in your project. So you can assign resources to them, distribute it amongst your teams, set up a timeline, and then track and monitor the progress of these tasks. Now, apart from these tasks and deliverables, what you automatically get, which probably you have not seen before, sorry, which probably you have not, you will not see when you use any other roadmap, are the quality gates. So we also automatically create the quality gates, the Clean Core quality gates at the end, and assign it to the end of every phase. So once, assuming you have managed to complete all the activity of, let's say, phase 1, and you have the onboarding advisor supporting you with the quality gate process, you would go through, you would pick one of the relevant quality gate, either new implementation or system conversion quality gate for Clean Core, and then you can start with your quality gate review with all the stakeholders involved. If there is partner involved, you can bring in your partner together with your project team and the onboarding advisor. You will go through the quality gate review. And here you see the checklist consists of questions distributed along all the different dimensions of Clean Core. And you also see that every question here comes with a pre-assigned set of answers that you can use to answer. So SAP also provides you this guidance, because based on what you answer here, the assessment result is going to contain the recommendations on the answers that you provide from the assessment service. So Assuming you are at the end of the quality gate review, you answer these questions together with the team, and finally, together with the onboarding advisor, you set the status of each question, whether that specific question is accepted or not. So these are the standard quality gate statuses that are allowed to be set. You go through the entire checklist, and then finally, let's say, for example, you accepted this question, and then you assign the final status of the quality gate as agreed upon together with all the stakeholders. Yeah? So I will, for the demo, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. So every quality gate that is either accepted or conditionally accepted is submitted to SAP. So right now it is still a manual process, and we are working on automating this process too. So the completed quality gate at the end of prepare phase, it is the output of this quality gate is extracted and submitted to SAP to deliver an assessment service. And once SAP has completed the assessment of this quality gate, you get the final result of the assessment in your own Cloud ALM tenant, and you can access that via the service applications. So this is one of the service applications where you can get an overview of all the services that SAP is delivering to you. And the reports of those services and recommendations are available here. And so is the assessment result of the Clean Core assessment service. So here in the final report is available as the service results. You can take a look at the complete report, which provides you a detailed analysis of everything that was validated. You have the summary, you have the key findings here, the positive findings, the critical findings, so you can actually go through the entire report, which is quite detailed because every question goes through a check, and the result of the check and the evaluation from the SAP experts is available in this report. However, what is most important is the action plan, because this is where you see the recommendations provided by SAP. So the list of these recommendations, you see it's quite large. So all these recommendations can now be easily brought into your project as follow-up tasks and managed and tracked within your success plan project. In the interest of time, I will not go through the process of uploading these tasks, but what I would like to show you is, as part of the entire process, in the end, what you also have is the possibility to track your quality gates and get an overview of all the quality gates across all phases and their completion status, together with any of these recommendations that are assigned to those quality gates. You can also track the status of those tasks via the newest report that we have delivered. It is the quality gate report, and in this quality gate report, you get the overview of all quality gates from your projects. So let's just choose one of the projects that we have for Clean Core, and this is where you can see the progress of the quality gate. And we also provide the distribution here by user type. So here, when you have the different stakeholders involved in your project. Like you have certain activities that are being delivered by SAP or partner, and or your own project team from your organization. So you also get a distribution of the different tasks by the different user groups and the status of those checklist items assigned to these user groups. So this is the very first version that we have delivered, but going forward, we will also enhance this report to provide more insights on who is the responsible, what team is responsible for delivering which key deliverable, and so on. With this, I have reached the end of our, my part of the demo, where we saw all the different features that we have built and delivered so far to support the execution of the methodology from onboarding to running your quality gate check and getting the reports, assessment reports from SAP, utilizing them in your project, and constantly monitoring the quality gates. Now I would like to hand over to Jörg to share with you more insights on the methodology dashboard.
Okay, thank you, Pretty. With a micro.
Oh.
Okay, let's quickly switch my laptop. Hopefully this should work as planned. Okay, then also welcome from my side. What I'm now going to talk about is a little bit the outlook on the RISE with SAP methodology dashboard, but I also want to do it a little bit more concrete, so you will also see what we are going to deliver until the end of this year. So if you have already attended yesterday the keynote, you've most probably seen already that Figma, that vision, that we also shared during the Sapphire this year. So what are our key objectives with the RISE with SAP methodology dashboard? So first of all, we want to show customers that RISE is more than just hosting. So the whole RISE experience, also the whole RISE delivery experience, brings a lot of value for the customers. So Chris talked about this in the morning. Pretty has also talked about the quality gates. We've talked about the incentives that you're also getting when the quality gates are fulfilled. And we want to show in this dashboard customers the value of RISE, what about the latest adoptions that they have done. So when you're making the switch from ECC to S4, there are then Fiori applications, for example, in place. Which one of these Fiori applications are you using, your end users are using, how much adopted are they by them. In general, also, how often did you make upgrades in the past? That's also where then the clean core compliance comes into the game. So this is by coincidence, this is an example from a real customer also that you see here on the right-hand slide. So this is Hitachi, who had a very specifically developed ECC system, and because of that, they were performing upgrades in a time frame of 6 years usually. So they had quite a lot of things to do, to test. They had a lot of modifications. Of course, they had a lot of add-ons also in their system, and this was slowing down completely their upgrade procedure. Then they started their Clean Core initiative, and then they reached that status like that. So even a bit better than in this demo at the end. Every year they are now doing upgrades, and they are doing this within a time frame of 40 to 45 days. So really impressive what they have reached there. And we also want to make that transparent to our customers then in this dashboard, how long the upgrades were running, and also compare this with peer group, and also to compare it with their previous upgrades. So Clean Core, I mean, the closer you are to Clean Core, the better you can perform the upgrades, because you then it will never be a non-event an upgrade, but it will become easier and easier when you are more Clean Core compliant. And we want to support there also the 5 dimensions that were also previously mentioned. So integration, data, extensibility, we have operations and business processes. So for all of that, we want to create transparency in this dashboard. And we also not only want to make transparency in the dashboard, but we also want to give you actions so that you can make a fast step from insight to action, that you can make the right decisions, where you want to invest also. There was a question in the session beforehand. For example, if you make the switch from ECC to S4 system conversion, you take all your code also with you. Is it then realistic that you get to 100% clean core compliance in future so that you can get rid of all custom developments? Clear answer is no, this is not realistic, at least not with an effort that is affordable. So you need to make the right decisions where you are investing in cleaning up your system. So also, it's a slide slightly different from yesterday in the keynote. We want to target also different personas in this dashboard. We want to start on a very high level for the executives, maybe a CIO that is also accessing the dashboard, really explaining them the RISE with SAP and the effects that they are getting from this contract, but also with the summary of the clean core in general. Then for IT managers and architects, we want to provide them further details with regards to processes. So we also want to map different information that we have to processes to make them understandable. So which alerts, which custom code you have in which you are using in which project, in which process. And then some topic-related deep dive dashboards. So operations, data, extension, security, so all the 5 dimensions of clean core with addition to security, because a very important topic also. Some people also say that security is maybe the 6th dimension of clean core. This is then something for the implementation and solution consultants. Developers also, we want to give them recommendations how they can clean up the code. And again, also mentioned as yesterday in the keynote, we want to allow peer group comparison, and the prerequisite for that is that we have a central data platform. This is what we are currently building. We are heavily working on that now for more than 6 months already when we started that with that idea. So we want to have one central data lake where we are collecting or connecting all the various resources, data sources that we have inside SAP, to make them available in this data lake, and then the RISE dashboard will access this data lake and will then provide the information to all the different customers. And this is then also allowing us the peer group comparison because we have everything centrally. And now, doing a little bit expectation management, because there were a lot of questions also then after Sapphire when this dashboard will be available. And the first thing, the system view will be available until the end of the year. At least this is our strong goal. Again, with the disclaimer, everything what we present here, but I'm pretty confident that we can achieve that. The system view will focus on extensibility and also system stack information. I'm going to show you how it looks like in the system. Our developers have made a tremendous effort in the last 2 weeks to provide there at least a first view on that. And then we will extend it until April, May maybe, to really end RISE with SAP methodology dashboard. This means we want to offer different views. We want to offer this executive view that I was talking about. We want to offer the project view that is also playing together with the quality gate reporting, for example, that Pretty just has shown. And we want also to put KPIs for the 5 dimensions, the first KPIs for the 5 dimensions, so that we really can say, also in that very first, in the second iteration, what it is then at the end, that we already have then covered all aspects, and then we will step by step enhance this. And if you have listened to Wieland yesterday, you know how Cloud ALM is also shipped, so we are deploying daily to the production. Every 2 weeks, we are also then switching on the feature toggles that new things are then in place. And by that, this is also giving us the possibility, as soon as we have something ready, we can then ship it also to the customers. Then maybe then in Q3, but maybe also a little bit earlier. Let's see how it goes out. We have the landscape view, so that you also see then which different systems are affected in your landscape, how the different systems also play together. So if you have a BTP, to which system it is connected, things like that we want to show there. And then we will have the continuous improvement. And this will go to 2026 and even beyond, to make that really the central dashboard for all RISE customers, and really help customers also to getting more Clean Core compliant. And with that, I'm going to my demo. And so this is now an internal development system, where we have here an area that you should not be familiar with, which is called internal functions. So this is it's our container for everything that we are newly developing, and they even added here a new tile since yesterday, but I guess this is the one. So I said we are starting with the system view of the Clean Core dashboard. This means, of course, you need to select the system for which you want to start in this dashboard, because it could also be that you have several systems in your landscape in place. And then you will get there, first of all, a summary of the software stack. So it's all on fake data. That's also why sometimes it doesn't make sense, because we have here an S/4HANA system 2021 where the update is overdue and the support package stack is Clean Core compliant. Should be the other way around. But in general, we would highlight here then the systems and the attributes, whether they are Clean Core compliant. So it could be also that you have here a very old ECC system, or you are on the initial shipment stack and you never have implemented the newest support package. That is something that we would like to show there. There will be a second card also that is showing the add-ons that you have installed on your system, and whether these add-ons are also Clean Core compliant. There's a certification for partner add-ons. This kind of information we also want to show there. Then we have the Clean Core tool status. So everything that we want to show in the dashboard relies on the data that we are collecting for the system. That means we need various sources, and we want to show in this dashboard also, are the early watch alert data on the latest stage? Is this okay? What about the online collectors, ABAP call monitor usage data? Are they active? If they are active, are they long enough active to show also then data that makes sense? And if this is, for example, not the case, then it will have an effect on the information that are displayed in the card, because if the data sources are not in place, then we can also not display then the right values in the cards. And then we come to the extensibility. This is a pretty cool system, actually. We only have 45 custom code objects. That's not that much. Real figure would be here like 18,000 or 20,000, or if we talk about our big customers, then 6 digits maybe. And on the right-hand side, we already want then to measure the so-called ABAP Cloud changes. We call it also Tier 1 changes. There is a potential which objects or which developments could be Tier 1 extensions. And we would then like to show you how much of these potential Tier 1 changes you have done already in your system, and also how it is evaluating over the time. So something like that hopefully will not happen at a customer, that you have then this RISE and then directly the drop would mean that you completely remove that one, but that you can also see then how this is evolving. So typically this line should grow step by step in a project. Then also the business modifications with the top 5 modified application components. There's a typo also in this fake data, so that you also know where you have these modifications and where you need to invest something, and also how this is evaluating over the time. So you see here a little bit up and down, or a lot of up and downs. In a real world, this would be 5 lines that are more or less parallel, and one is dropping and maybe one is rising. And if you're really starting then a Clean Core journey with a Clean Core initiative, then hopefully the trend of the modifications is also going down. So this is, as said, what we want to deliver until the end of the year. As said, I'm quite confident that we reach this. But of course, I also want to give you the outlook of what you can expect then maybe in a year or 1.5 years that you just know. I mean, visions sometimes it's a little bit hard also to sell, but of course you also need to develop a vision, otherwise you cannot go into that direction. And I'm starting here now also with this menu on the left side. You see then the different views that we want to offer. The executive overview I already spoke about. The system view I also mentioned already. This is the first one that we are going to release. The landscape view in mid of next year. And the project view. This was something which I haven't talked about so far. In the project view, we want then to show different information also from the for example, from the Clean Core success plan. So we have here then the information shown from the quality gates, what's the status of this quality gates, and you can also directly jump then from this dashboard into the details of this quality gate, where you would see then also the various questions that have been raised and how the questions also have been answered. So here this quality gate 2 is something which has not been accepted. And the reason why it was not accepted in that example is that the visibility for the landscape is not clear. And this information we also want to directly provide in this dashboard. I guess at the end we are reuse something what Pretty is going to develop, but we also really want to support from this dashboard view already then the executives or the CIOs to understand where they are in the project and that they not need to jump to the project reporting. That's the idea behind. I already talked about the innovation readiness, so the upgrades that have been performed, the innovation adoption, and LeanIX and SAP LeanIX and SAP Signavio are also mentioned quite a lot, and this is where then this area is coming into the game, the strategic alignment score for top goals. So as a company, you can set your goals. And with LeanIX, you have the possibility to assign to these goals functionalities or business capabilities. And this we would read this data remotely. It's the idea that we read this data from LeanIX, present it then in the dashboard, and allow then from here to jump into LeanIX. And also Signavio, that we provide insights into the processes, that we map custom code also to the processes. This is a very strong goal. As an example here, we have a lot of deliveries that are overdue for billing, meaning really losing money. And as an executive, you would not drill down further. I mean, of course, there will be executives that would like to drill down more, but usually they just set then the priority. So someone needs to analyze this specific process or this process step for Clean Core compliance. And then let's switch the view to the architect. So I'm switching also my hat now that I have on. And going again into the process analysis. So we see here on the right upper side that we have there also interfaces. We have custom built interfaces where we also see quite a lot of errors. So what's the reason for that? We have then the information about these custom built interfaces. We would also assign or map this with information that we have from the system. The alerts per week would be displayed here with the emergency share. So 10% of your transports that are related to this interface are correction transports. So quite a high effort to maintain it. So definitely a reason why you should look further into this interface. And this would then also trigger you could jump to LeanIX to get then more information on the interface. Because also if you have started the whole RISE journey, you would have mapped this or you would have done this task also to maintain all the interface details in LeanIX. So why not using then these capabilities? Okay, and then I would like to show you two more things before we come into Q&A. We have this process insights also from SAP Signavio. So as said, we have here these deliveries that are overdue for billing. Process insights is then giving you recommendations how you can correct this situation. So in that case, there's a SAP node with a report that you can execute. More important is how in future you can avoid that this is happening again. So there's a process automation in place that you can implement. And here we want to close the circle again, also that you can create a follow-up task in Cloud ALM, so that you assign then this activity to a specific person in Cloud ALM who's then taking care that this process automation is also implemented. And then the last one is about custom code clustering. If we just mention that you have 20,000 custom code objects in the system, this not necessarily mean that you understand what you need to do with this custom code or where this custom code is used. That's why the idea of custom code clustering came up some months already back, and I think even years, that we connect custom code objects that are somehow related to each other and put them into clusters. And then we would also then like to categorize these clusters, so that it means that if there are custom code clusters that are not used at all, so in the last 1.5 years you never touched this custom code cluster, then why don't you just simply remove this custom code objects? For that, we would then allow the creation of a feature with a transport request, where then already these objects are deleted in this transport request, and then you can just transport these deletions through the landscape. Where it's getting more complex is then if you are using custom code cluster, because then you just need to think, what can you do as an alternative? So there are BDP extensions, BDP side-by-side extensions, tier 1 changes that are in general possible and that are cloud compliant. And this is then something that we would like to give as recommendation in this dashboard. As also, that is still a way to go, because also there's a lot of tasks on the SAP side that we've maintained for all the different objects in S4, then the successor information. So we triggered this already, so we are there also on a good way. But to be also very precise here and very honest, this is not something that you can expect in the next 6 months. This is not just realistic. I would want to do expectation management here also, so this is something where we talk maybe about end of 2025 or beginning of 2026. Okay, and with that, we would like now to start with the Q&A. So if there are questions, then raise your hand. Stefan, you have a question? Or?
Maybe just one question to the session before from her. If we get the assessment from SAP, so we have some actions again, and now we can, as far as I understand, upload as much we want to for a task, and will be there a reference automatically to the quality gates?
Yes, there will be, because at the moment it is a manual upload. Probably you might have noticed it. You see the issues and actions in the IAM application. You have to download them and upload them. But we are working on first an in-app possibility to offer you in the IAM app, not only bring the assessment results from just this one service, but there are also umpteen other services delivered by SAP. So any service you can pick, and not in the Clean Core project, but you can bring in general all. However, we are working on a full automation of, once the quality gate is completed, it is automatically sent to SAP, creates a service request, the service is delivered, and the recommendations from the exact assessment service that is delivered for that specific quality gate is brought back into the project and assigned to the quality gate. This is something that we are working on. But right now, it is a manual process, so you have to make this assignment yourself, but this is something that you can expect to come next year. Yeah. We'll try.
I have a question also to you, or maybe to the colleague in the session before, being the RISE expert. When it comes to the content updates that are done for these quality gates, we will get probably more questions to answer, etc. These are embedded in the notifications we get for roadmap updates, right? Which are pushed into our system. And then if we would have already passed the quality gate and we suddenly get 2 more questions, how do you think we should deal with that?
It's a very good question, and we will handle it the same way we handle the content update for tasks. And especially for quality gates, we will not touch the ones that are completed. Only the ones that are open will get the newer ones added. And it is already a process, because right now the content is not delivered by Activate the same way as they deliver the rest. This is just the technical details, but already every time there are new questions added to a quality gate that is somewhere in the future, you are already getting it, but the only thing that's missing is that the information is not available in the content update summary. But that's something that we have on our roadmap, and we want to also bring this content as part of the roadmap content itself and handle the updates the same way as we do with the other tasks.
Yeah, I also have a question to Preeti. So in terms of this quality gate, we have some predefined answers, yeah? So that could be no, in planning, et cetera, and at the same time, we also have the status. Namely, okay, we can say maybe it's in planning, but somehow it's accepted. So how can, let's say, customer or partner interpret these two different status, or sometimes a little bit conflicting, yeah?
So the checklist that you see is a typical questionnaire, yeah? So you have questions, and some of these questions you answer with free text, so you can enter the text. However, some of the questions are very specific, and which comes with this pre-delivered answers. So it is a two-step process. First, you with your project team, the customer, together with the partner, if he's helping him in the implementation, you go through the checklist, and then you first answer the questions. The review process comes later. In step 2 is where, together with all the different stakeholders, you say, okay, what is the status? Do you accept the answer or not? Or is it conditionally accepted? Conditionally accepted might mean it is okay, but you may have to do some follow-up later. Yeah? So these are the status that is defined, which is set during the review process, but questions can be answered earlier by the project team and the individual workstream leads.
I have a question related to the scenario where Signavio pushes over certain tasks to Cloud ALM. Mm-hmm. So if in the scenario of maintenance windows or maintenance projects, that means you could bundle up all those changes or innovation requests or failures that come up in Signavio, mm-hmm, and push that over to a specific project in Cloud ALM.
Exactly.
Okay.
That would be the idea. This is similar of what we are doing right now also with the readiness check. So if the readiness check is inside SAP Cloud ALM, but if you want then to share that readiness check findings in specific tasks for certain users, then you also select these findings and use then we are also using our APIs then for that to create a task in Cloud ALM, assigning it to a specific project. And then you can from there move on with task management in Cloud ALM as usual. And that's also the idea there. Kai?
Maybe just one question to the dashboard. I've seen there was a point with AI adoption. Is it the one with the chat to generate dashboards, or what can I imagine by that point?
So the idea is that for the various AI use cases that we are using, so first of all, that we make this transparent, which AI use cases are existing in this S4 system, because it also depends on which S4 system you have, which AI use cases are also then. And then also whether you have accessed or used these AI use cases in your company, so that someone is using that. And also very much an outlook that we also displayed in the value that you got out of these AI use case. That you also see that it not just costs you money, because for AI you also have then to pay, but also what you're getting back from this AI use case in your specific environment. That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, seems to be the last question. We're also already in the break. If you would like, then you also have the possibility to rate the session in the event app. If you have questions, then we are walking around most of the time here during the sessions, and just ask us if in case something is not clear. And then thanks for your time, for joining the session, and have a good break.